Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you guys can tell by the title of today's video, my sister's here to talk about her birth story. We also have little mics just so that we don't talk crazy loud because the baby is sleeping. Shh, quiet on set. And we also got Little Caesars pizza. If you don't like Little Caesars, you can exit the video now.
Yeah.
And we also got a daily fix.
Oh, yes.
What
did you get?
I got a tahini.
And I got a pepino loco.
They're so good. I'm addicted to these. I wish they had these in Tri-Cities.
I get mine with light chamoy and tajin because the chamoy and tajin like adds a different flavor to everything.
Mm-hmm. They're so good. I'm also hungry. Oh, me.
Somebody took it from
we
the
need
store.
to call. We need to call 911. Somebody been eating our pizza. Joshua.
It was Emily.
It was Emily. Oh yeah, people didn't know her name because I haven't said her name on like any Instagram. I think on Snapchat I did once, but
well, her name is Emily.
What's her middle name?
Her middle name is Rose. For my sister.
For me, because we're BFFs.
And her last name is Maria.
Emily Rose Maria. Welcome to this earth. Do you have anything you want to say? She was throwing a fit earlier when we.
Yeah, we had to change her in the car.
She had
a poopy diaper, so we had to change her in the car. And she like basically went underneath the car seat.
Underneath the hood of the car.
No. Underneath the car seat. And I was like freaking out. I was like, where did she go? But we found her.
She was slipping and sliding.
Yeah, she was slipping and sliding. But look, she's fine now. She's sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Me hungry?
Yeah, let's take a bite. Let's take a bite.
Your pizza already done. These are so good from Little Caesars. Not sponsored. Little Caesars, if you want to work with me, let me know.
Daily fix.
Now that you've given birth to your first baby, do you want another one?
I go back and forth most days.
Makes sense.
Most days I say no. Mm-hmm. And then like I really think about it and it's like, do I want her to grow up without a sibling? No. Mm-hmm. But like that whole thing was very traumatizing.
It was so traumatizing. I wasn't even there and I'm traumatized.
Yeah. So I feel like
because you were supposed to get induced.
Yes. So
tell us what happened.
Monday, the March 3rd, I was scheduled to get induced. They said they were just gonna call me, but I also had a doctor's appointment that day as well. But then Saturday, before that appointment, I was walking around at Marshall's, and then I felt really wet in my pants, and I was like, "What is that? What the heck? Why am I so wet?
What the
and
hell?"
I was like, "Dang, Nunu, that good." So I went to the bathroom, and then I was like, "Whoa!" That was my mucus plug. It had came out
at the Marshalls.
At the Marshalls, which is like so me of something to happen because it would come out at Marshalls.
For real. She lives there.
I literally do. So I went to see Martin and I was like, we need to go. Like I thought I had to go to the hospital. And so we went to the car and I called my mom and I was like, Mom, this happened. And she's like, you need to go to the hospital. But like I was trying to calm myself down. Because like I had already seen like your mucus plug might come out like a few days before and stuff. And so I was trying to calm down and I was like, let me just go home, clean myself up, I'll call the birth center and then I'll go from there. And when I called the birth center when we got home, they were like, oh, unless you see bright red blood, unless your contractions start getting really close together, like I think you're okay. Like this is normal. And I was like, okay, perfect. Because I was not ready mentally that day to go into labor. And so Saturday, like I was having like little contractions, but not anything serious. And then Sunday in the tarde, like nighttime, I was having heavier, more painful contractions.
You're walking back and forth like this in mom's house?
I was walking back and forth and I was like trying to breathe through them. And girl, that was nothing compared to what it was gonna be at the hospital. And then Monday, the whole day, I was like waiting by my phone and like looking at it. I was like, they're gonna call me soon, they're gonna call me soon, and nothing. And my appointment was at 4.
Bruh. So all late.
My appointment was at 4. Like with my normal doctor, not to get induced, like just my regular checkup appointment. And so I was like, okay, well, if they haven't called me yet, my doctor's gonna tell me to go
to the hospital.
To hospital after my appointment. So went to the hospital. She checked if I was dilated, and I was 1 fingertip or like 1 centimeter dilated.
At your doctor's appointment?
At my doctor's appointment. And then she was like, yep, and you lost your mucus plug. She's like, let's go. Let's go take you to the hospital, and they'll go from there, and they'll decide what to do with you. I was like, okay. But like, I think I was fully in denial that it was going to happen.
I didn't even know she was pregnant. I feel like I did like all that day on Monday because we knew she was going to get that call to get induced. So I was like waiting all day Monday. I literally woke up early. I cleaned my entire house because my family was going to be staying the night at my house. And I was just waiting also by my phone all day. And then it was like, I think like 2 o'clock. I was like, no, they're going to have her go to her appointment. And then from there, they're going to send her to labor and delivery. And that's exactly what happened. We went straight into labor and delivery.
After my appointment, yep, I went straight to the hospital. Went to labor and delivery. But like I said, I was fully in denial that it was going to happen. Like, even though I even had an induction date for Monday, I still was like, oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They took me to the triage room. They took like vitals and stuff, and they hooked me up to like those monitors. And they're like, okay, well, the doctor should be out of surgery soon, and then he'll tell us what to do with you. And I was like, okay.
They're like, okay, great. And then we couldn't be in there because she had to be 3 centimeters dilated in order for her to have like her like family in there. Only dad, mom could be in there. Yeah. So me and my family were just at home waiting all night, all afternoon to see when we can go be with her and like help her. Not help her, but like just console her, honestly.
Yeah.
And then you started getting contractions like around.
Oh, they put in the balloon.
Oh yeah, like, balloon. They put a balloon in her.
They put like a balloon, and it was like 2 little small balloons, like this big. Like they were tiny, and they put them in me. And the girl, I asked her, I was like, how long do these things stay inside me? And she's like, oh, they last 12 hours. So I was like, oh my God,
12 hours.
My family won't be able to come until tomorrow. So I was like, there's no way I'm going into labor tonight.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And she's like, you're going to start feeling contractions heavier and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay. But like, I don't think I was expecting all the pain that I went through. So it was a lot.
Because they gave you the balloons, and then
they started me. Hello?
There's a ghost in here.
They started me on oxytocin, which is just like, I don't know what it does.
I just took it.
They would put in my IV, and so I was like, okay, fuck it.
And that's when
shit went crazy. And I started getting contractions, and I could not breathe. Like they were one after another, after another, after another. I couldn't have time to breathe. And since they put the balloon inside me, I felt like I needed to poop. Oh, no. So every contraction that I had, I would push, and I was like, I'm gonna poop myself. But they put me on the bouncing balloon thingy to help ease the pain a little bit, and that helped for like 5 seconds.
After that, no.
And then I would lean over the bed, and Martin would like push my hips together. Then that wasn't helping either. So I just wanted to lay down because I was tired as fuck. What time had that been? Maybe like 10 or 11.
Like 9 or 10.
No, I think 9 was probably too early, like 10, 11 p.m.
Yeah, because we didn't go to bed that night until like 11:45. No, like 10:45. Almost like 11, because we were like, well, let's try to get some rest, because we didn't think you were going into labor either. We thought maybe early in the morning, but not overnight like you did. Yeah.
And so my contractions started getting really hard after that. And they were like, at any time, if you want the epidural, we can give it to you.
Give it to me.
But I wanted to see how much pain I could take without it. I thought, no, like I thought I was gonna be able to take it, you know, and I think I did take it well enough because when they came back to check on me, when I finally asked for the epidural, she said I was 7 centimeters dilated. So I went from 1 to 7, like in just a few hours, and I thought, and then she like pulled on the balloons, and they just popped out by themselves, so they were like fully open, and I was fully like I was opening wider and wider.
And so you got the epidural. Oh, sorry. So you got the epidural.
I was like, give me the drug right fucking now. And then the nurse literally called the anesthesiologist, and he was like, they're like, quick. I thought it was gonna take a while, so that's why I was like, give it to me now, because by the time they get here, you know. But he got there really fast.
Really fast.
And then literally, as soon as he was about to put the numbing in my back, so I wouldn't feel it, I was having a contraction, and that was the worst one, I think. And I was like leaning on the nurse, and I was like, you know, like making all of the noises. You know? And then he gave me that numbing stuff, and then literally I felt this like heat go from my back all the way down to my toes. It was crazy.
And then you didn't feel anything?
And then I didn't feel nothing. And I was like, woo, give me 5 of these for on the go. And I didn't feel anything anymore. Like I was still having contractions because at that time, Mom and Dad were already back. Like,
yeah, they were
Mom
there.
and Dad were at the hospital.
Yeah, because Mom got your call at like almost midnight. And I heard it. I heard my mom get up because I honestly, we didn't sleep at all when we were at home. I heard my mom's phone ringing, so I got out of bed and I went straight to the living room. And she's like, your sister's 7 centimeters dilated. We're going. So I was like, okay. But only 2 people could be in, only 3 people, including Dad, could be in the room. So my mom and my dad went. And she was like, I'll call you if I need a break. Because we didn't know if your labor was going to be fast or if it was going to be really long. Like we had no idea what was going on. So I was just up all night making sure my mom was okay. We just didn't know what was going on.
And so Mom and Dad were already there. I got in the epidural. And so I was like, I feel so tired. I already didn't feel the pain anymore. So I was like, I want to try to go to sleep. So I was trying to go to sleep. But like, you know, the nurses were coming and checking on me and checking on the baby, and I couldn't really fall asleep fully. And then they like sat me up on the bed, like almost to where I was like sitting on the toilet almost. That's how they propped up the bed. And that was when I finally was able to like finally sleep, like finally close my eyes. And then Martin was also sleeping. And then out of nowhere, the nurses comes in. There was like 3 nurses that came in. And like my main nurse that was taking care of me, she was like, okay, sweetie, like we're just gonna check on your baby. We're gonna see how dilated you are because your baby's doing some funny things on the monitor. And I was like, okay, man. And then she puts her hand inside me to see how many centimeters dilated I am. And like I fully was convinced that they were gonna make me start pushing because she put like her whole hand like this. She put her whole hand like this inside me. So I was like, okay, they're gonna make me start pushing. And then she put her hand in, and then she's like whispering something to the nurse. And I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
And then she's like, I feel the cord. I feel the cord. And I was like, you feel the cord? What does that mean? And then she's like, oh, cord. And then they all started, like the 3 of them started saying cord to each other. And then one of them said it out in the hallway. And then after that one said it, there was like 7 other nurses that came in, and they started unplugging me from everything, like from all the stuff on the wall. They started unplugging me from the monitors, from everything. The nurse that had her hand inside me got on top of me with her hand inside me, and they started rushing me out of the room. Like they almost forgot to unplug me from one thing. Dad had to unplug
me. My dad said that he was in the room, and my parents were like, what's going on? Because my mom said that
they weren't telling us anything.
That the nurse ran out and was like, cord, like in the hallway. So that's when all the nurses rushed in. And my mom was like, what's going on? Because obviously they're kind of in a rush, like trying to get my sister out of the room. And like the nurses aren't telling my parents anything. They're just trying to do their job. And when my dad said, the nurse looked at my dad and was like, we need to rush her to the OR, unplug everything from the wall. Yeah. So my dad said he just started unplugging
everything
from the wall.
Yeah. Like everyone was unplugging stuff.
And Martin was still asleep, right?
Martin was barely starting to wake up because it all happened like within like 10 seconds of them coming into the room. So it was all happened super quickly. Hold on.
she's waking up. She was like, I remember.
And so then they wheeled me out of the room and they rushed me. And then at this point, I think I was so tired. I had gone through so much pain, and then I oh I was also feeling like my pressure kept getting really really high and then dropping, and then really really high and then dropping. Like I could feel that because I was getting super nauseous, and like when I was up, I couldn't keep my eyes open. Like I just felt really weird. So at that point, I was really delirious, and I was just like laying on the bed, and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck is going on. I know that they're taking me to the OR, so that means I'm gonna have a C-section. And so they're rushing me to the OR. They literally almost run into a wall, sister.
Yeah.
There's like 7 nurses like pushing me. The doctor and Martin, are behind us running. Martin's all trying to put on the gown thingy, and the doctor's putting on his little booties. I get into the OR. They switch me to the other bed really quickly, and then they're like, "We need your verbal consent for a C-section. This is an emergency." And I was like, "Okay, okay." And so they lay me down, and then the anesthesiologist like just puts the medicine inside me, and he's like, "Okay, if you feel pain, tell me, but you're gonna feel lots of pressure. Pressure is normal, but pain is not." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, and if you feel pain, I'm gonna have to put you to sleep completely. I was like, okay. But I also, like I said, I was so out of it. I didn't really like. I remember these things, but then I don't remember like how I was feeling. I don't know.
You were just kind of going through the motions.
Yeah, it was really weird. And then the doctor was like, okay, scalpel, 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 and then they sliced me, and I was like, oh my god, he's like inside me right now. Obviously, I didn't feel like the slices or nothing. The only thing I finally felt was when like their hands were inside me.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I'm done with the pizza. I've had a friend that also had a C-section, and she says that you don't feel anything, but you feel like the pressure and like where they're at inside of you.
Yeah. It was a lot of pressure, like immense amount of pressure. And then I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. And they're like, okay, we'll give you something for the nausea. And then it made me feel a little better. And then she literally came out like within 5 minutes of us being in the OR. And so they pulled her out, and I heard her crying. And I was like, oh my god, where is she? Where is she? And like they weren't letting me see her because obviously they had to clean her up and I don't know, make sure she was okay. And then it wasn't until Martin finally brought her to me, and I was like, oh my god, my baby. But then if you see like the video where I'm with her, I'm also so out of it that where I'm like, I don't even know.
And I feel like you're looking at it and you're like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
She was really, I mean, all the medication that you were on, that's probably obviously the reason why. But yeah, my mom, because I wasn't in there, because like Gali said, it happened in like 10 seconds. Everything happened so fast. I woke up from a notification from my mom, and it's a Snapchat, and it was 4 a.m, and or like 3 something.
I think it was 3.
She was born at 3:06.
3:04.
Oh, 3:04? 3:04. And it was like 3:30, and my mom sent me a snap, and I remember I wasn't asleep, so I look at it, and it's just the baby, and I was like, what the hell? I was like, Shorty gave birth, and the baby was already like in the room with my parents. And so I was like, oh, my sister pushed her out. I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, you did it, sister. And then they explained to me everything that happened, obviously, of like the nurse jumping on top of my sister and like shoving her hand even deeper in there.
Yeah.
And then like Martin, like they threw him the gown and like, just follow us. And like he's running down the hallway trying to put all these things on.
And he had just woken up.
He had just woken up, so he was also delirious. He probably didn't even know what was going on either.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It was very, very scary.
That's a lot to go through. And the baby was in a NICU. Emily was in a NICU.
Emily had to go to the NICU. So I only had her for a few hours with me in the room, and then she had to go because her blood sugars were really low. Every time they were checking them, they would drop and drop. And so they had to take her to the NICU. They had to put a IV in through her belly button. So that was really hard. But she's doing great now.
Yes, she is.
And she was in the NICU for 3 days.
3 days, yeah.
3 days. And we left the hospital
on Friday.
And we got there Monday night. So it was 5 days. It was a lot.
It was a lot. I was there every day.
Yes, we were ready to go home by like Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we couldn't. And then Thursday, my doctor was like, okay, you're going to get discharged today. And I was like, awesome, great, I'm so happy. But she wasn't gonna get discharged.
I think that it caused your blood pressure went up, right?
Yeah, my blood pressure went up. But also because the nurse was like, okay, so you're gonna get discharged. Just remember this, this, and this about your baby. Don't put them here. Don't put them there. Lay them on their back.
It was so much information. Even when we actually got discharged, I was there with you.
Yeah.
It said you can't do this if they do this. You can't do that. You can't do that. And I was like, what the fuck?
Don't lay them on their stomach. Lay them
Don't
on their
sleep with
back.
them. Don't co-sleep.
No,
so many different things.
A lot of information. And so when the first nurse was giving me all that information, and then she's like, okay, let's check your blood pressure to see if you can go home. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And so my blood pressure had gone super, super high, and they had to keep me the extra day. And I was really disappointed because I couldn't go home. I was so tired. And like healing from a C-section is really hard. Really, really hard.
She's still healing from her C-section.
I am, but I'm wearing jeans today.
Yeah, she is.
Every day it's getting better.
And then her C-section opened.
Oh, yes.
Her incision opened on one side.
We were at home for a week. It wasn't even a week.
I think it was like 4 days. Yeah.
It was a few days. It was literally just the weekend. It was just the weekend that we were home, and then I don't even know what I did, and my incision opened up a little bit, and there was like a little hole, and we had to go to the hospital here. And the hospital here is
not that good.
Not that good. So I had to go see my doctor up there, and they had to like pack it and heal it, and we were having to do that for like a week. And
for her, honestly, I saw her scar, and it looks like nothing. It's just like I don't know. I've never seen a C-section scar. So I was thinking like it was gonna look scar-like, but it's just like a tiny little line. It looks really good. Yeah, I was like, oh, period.
Yeah,
I was like, you did good.
Okay, do you do BBL?
Do you do titties? But yeah, that's what happened. The nurse jumped on top of my sister and literally shoved her hand all the way up in there.
And it was just scary.
Yeah,
it was just scary because I didn't know what was wrong with her. Like, why was she doing weird things in the monitor? And then when they finally were able to get her out, and then her blood sugar was not good, and they had to take her to the NICU, and that was hard not being with her because I had to be in bed all that time.
Yeah.
And so it was really, really hard. Very traumatizing.
Shout out to all the mothers out there.
And then postpartum is no joke. No joke at all. And it's like the baby blues are real. The sundown scaries are real. All of that.
I don't know what all of those are. I'm just like,
Sundown scaries is like when the sun starts going down and you're like, my baby. My baby. Yeah. Or like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I just put that all into postpartum because that's just like a whole thing.
It's a whole.
Postpartum is definitely real.
It is.
And
then you start like thinking weird things too, and you're like, why am I thinking this?
I understand like feeling scared because I'm scared all the time. And she's not even my baby, but she's my niece, so she is like my baby. And so at home, I'm like, oh, I wonder what Emily's doing. Like, how is she doing? Does she eat? Is she sleeping okay? Like, I'm thinking about her all the time. So I can only imagine what your brain is doing.
I'm doing the same thing times 100.
She waking up?
No, she's just making her noises. ASMR of Emily. Hopefully you guys can hear her.
Cutie, and she's got so much hair, as you guys can see. If you follow me on Instagram, you guys know I'm always posting her. Yeah, she's doing so good.
That's her birth story.
That's how she traumatized her mom.
Yeah. She made me, after the hospital, I was like, I'm never, ever having another kid. Because also my pregnancy was really hard. I had lots of nausea like the whole time, lots of heartburn the whole time. Very tiring, but...
And then breastfeeding too.
Oh my god, breastfeeding. If you are a breastfeeding mother, I give you a round of applause. All the mothers, round of applause. Yeah. But breastfeeding mothers...
That's hard.
It's hard.
I'm really hard.
Exclusively pumping right now, and that's also hard. So if you're also doing that,
if you're just a mother, yeah, it's really. Just watching my sister go through everything, I was like, I'm okay. This is my baby right here.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, she's.
But if she ever gets pregnant, we have to get pregnant together. We already said that. The next time, it has to be together.
They will be giving birth in the same room. Imagine. That'd be scary. But yeah.
Like, let me see your coochie. Let me see yours.
Like, look how dilated I am.
I'm like, you're like 60% effaced.
Like, my face fits in there. But yeah, that's her birth story, guys.
It might not seem traumatizing to you guys, but it's traumatizing to me, okay?
Oh no, I think all births are traumatizing. Whether you pushed it out, whether you had a C-section, whether you shitted it out, whatever birth you went through. Shout out to all the moms out there.
Shout out to all the payers. My nurse that helped me my whole delivery time, the one who had her hand inside me.
Hey girl.
I think about her every single day. And I'm just like, what an angel. I don't know. Like, I remember her face, and I remember the calmness that she would talk to me. And
yeah, they were all super sweet. Besides that one nurse.
Yeah, there was
one nurse that was racist. She didn't say anything, but she was definitely saying some comments about not boycotting Target.
Yeah, and we boycott Target.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Don't lie right now.
We do. Okay. When was the last time I've been to Target?
You're right. You don't even have a Target here.
Yeah. I go to Walmart.
I go to Walmart too.
And I don't drink Coke. I only do Coke.
Well, thank you so much, sister, for coming on my YouTube channel.
You're welcome.
I'll send you the invoice later. But yeah, I've just been here helping my sister. I'm here every day out of the week, pretty much. Just because I want to be, not because I have to be.
I pay her.
She doesn't pay me, so please subscribe to my channel.
I actually don't pay her.
She pays me in daily fix and food, which is totally fine. Oh my girl, she's shitting.
Yeah, but I would go through that pain all over again if it meant I had to have her. It was very traumatizing and it was very scary, but to have her, I would do it all over again.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I didn't do anything. Oh my. Emily, can you please be quiet? We're going to close out today's video. But yeah, guys, that was my sister's birth story. I feel like a lot of you guys on Instagram were asking me what happened because I didn't go into details because it's not my story to tell. It was my sister's. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Now you guys know what she went through and how traumatizing it was. And if you're a mother, shout out to you. You deserve the world. Yes. My sister is a great mom. She's doing so good. She's learning, healing, and growing. They both are. All three of them. Me and Martin. He's not here.
Yes. He's a great dad.
Yeah, he's at work. He's so sweet with her. She can be a little bit too much sometimes and crying for no reason.
Literally.
But they're doing great. New parents. They're doing amazing. And yeah.
Yeah. If you're a first time mom, give yourself grace.
Yes.
Be patient.
Be nice to yourself.
Yes. Be patient with yourself. Be nice to yourself.
Be your biggest cheerleader.
Yes.
You can do anything. You already went through the birth. You can do anything else that comes after.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yay! Do you have any last words to say, Emily Rose?
Hopefully it picks up her breathing.
I hope so. Bye!
John, you're a pink bunny girl, and you dance at the club.
Oh, look, it looks like I can eat you.